Hello students, how are you all? Hope that you all are fine as well as healthy. We are learning biology, chapter number 5, principles of inheritance and variation. In last video lecture, we have talked about the laws of Mendel, means the laws of inheritance given by Mendel, means Mendel's law of inheritance. And in last video lecture, we said that Mendel did different type of experiments on a one particular organism which is known as garden pea plant, okay, and the scientific name of pea plant is Pisum sativum. He did a different type of experiments on this particular plant for 7 years, from the year of 1856 to the 1863, okay, and different type of characters were observed by the Mendel. According to Mendel, one character having how many factors? One character having 2 factors, okay. It means one character having 2 different type of traits, 2 different type of opposite traits, 2 different type of contrasting traits, okay. So total 7 characters are there and total 14 traits are there. Out of 14, 7 are the dominant trait and remaining 7 are the recessive type of trait. So first of all, we are going to revise the whole table of characters and their dominant as well as recessive type of trait. If we talk about the first character is about the height of stem, okay. So tall is the dominant trait while dwarf is the recessive trait. If we talk about the second character is the shape of seed, okay. Round is dominant while wrinkled is recessive trait. If we talk about the color of seed, yellow is dominant trait while green is recessive type of trait. If we talk about the shape of pod, full is the dominant trait while constricting is the recessive type of trait. If we talk about the color of pod, okay, the opposite to the color of seed, green is the dominant trait while yellow is the recessive. If we talk about the color of flower, violet is the dominant trait while white is recessive type of trait. If we talk about the position of flower, okay, axial is dominant trait while terminal is recessive type of trait. So it's all about the last lecture. Today we are going to learn about the very important concept, okay. From today the important concepts will be start, okay, and the title of today's question is inheritance of one gene. So what is title? Today's title is, we can say that inheritance of one gene. Inheritance of one gene, okay. It is important question. Inheritance of how many gene? Inheritance of one gene. It means inheritance of one gene. First point we can say that Mendel did monohybrid cross, okay. Mendel did what? Mendel did monohybrid cross to understand inheritance of one gene, okay. Mendel did what? Mendel did monohybrid cross to understand inheritance of what? Inheritance of one gene. It means we can say that for the understanding of one gene, okay, for the understanding of inheritance of one gene, the one experiment was done which is known as monohybrid cross, okay. Remember, in monohybrid cross at one time only one character, okay, only one character is there. It means at a time of inheritance only one character is observed in monohybrid cross. So 3 important words are there. First word is what? First word is, we can say that inheritance of one gene. Second word is what? Second word is about the monohybrid cross. And what about third one? Third one is about the one character. See, Mendel observed, okay, different type of things. So first of all, we will write some observation which was observed by Mendel. So here we will write different type of observations. Okay, different type of observations during what? During the monohybrid cross. So first point, we can say that first point in the monohybrid cross is P generation. Okay, what is the meaning of P generation? P generation means we can say that parent generation. P generation means we can say that parent generation. In monohybrid cross is P generation 100% tall plants, 100% tall plants were crossed with 100% dwarfed plants. Okay, so tall plants were crossed, or the one tall plant was crossed with one dwarf plant. Okay, so as parent Mendel selected what? As parent for the monohybrid cross, Mendel selected one tall plant and one dwarf plant. Okay, remember the sign of tall plant is capital T and sign of dwarf plant will be small t. Okay, you will just remember the sign. Okay, some rules are there for the signing and we will understand the all rules in next video lecture. But say here tall plant cross with what? Cross with dwarf plant. Okay, so Mendel had selected, or Mendel selected what? Mendel selected tall plant and dwarf plant as what? As P generation, means parent generation. We can say that P generations after the process of hybridization or after the process of sexual type of reproduction, we can say that the next generation, means the progeny of P generation is known as F1 generation. Okay, so what is the meaning of F1 generation? F1 generation is one type of progeny of P generation. F1 generation is known as filial 1 generation. F1 generation is known as what? F1 generation is known as filial 1 type of generation. Okay, so underline this. Filial 1 means what? Filial 1 is equal to the F1 generation. In F1 generation, Mendel observed what? We can say that in F1 generation, Mendel observed 100% tall plants. Okay, so all plants found in F1 generation were tall. Okay, means 100% tall plants were there in F1 generation, and none of this plant was the dwarfed. Okay, so 100% tall plants were observed in F1 generation, and see the height of these F1 plants are as similar as the parent. For example, this parent plant having the height of 4 feet and this parent dwarf plant having the height of 2 feet. So F1 plants having the height of 4 feet. Okay, so the height means the character of F1 is as similar as what? As their parent. Okay, now Mendel did what? We can say that Mendel did, see here, in F1 generation, we can say that in F1 generation Mendel got 100% tall plants. Yes, 100% tall plants. Mendel did self cross. Okay, Mendel did self cross, means Mendel did self fertilization. Mendel did what? Mendel did self fertilization. So tall plant, so the pollen of tall plant will fertile the gynoecium of this same plant. So tall plants cross with tall plants. Okay, tall plants cross with tall plants. But remember, in F1 generation self fertilization is found. Self fertilization is one type of artificial fertilization. You will remember this. So in F1 generation Mendel did what? In F1 generation Mendel did self fertilization. Okay, if we talk about the point number 4, then after F1 generation again F2 generation is there, yes or no? After F1 generation F2 generation is there. Okay, what about F2 generation? In F2 generation we can say that 70% tall plants were there and 25% dwarfed. and 25% dwarfed plants were there. Okay, so see, in F1 generation only one type, in F1 generation only one type of plants, okay, only tall plants were there, while in F2 generation both tall and dwarfed, both types of plants are there. But remember that the ratio of tall and dwarf will be 3:1, means we can say that dominant and recessive. So 75% dominant, you know that the tall are the dominant trait, okay, so 75% dominant means tall plant, and remaining 25% will be recessive. So you will remember the ratio. So result of F2 generation will be 3:1, okay, 3 tall and 1 dwarfed, 3 dominant tall and 1 recessive dwarfed. Okay, so 4 points are completed. Again we are going to revise this. As parent, Mendel selected tall and dwarfed. F1 generation, in F1 generation we can say that 100% tall plants. F2 generation 75% tall, 25% dwarfed. What will be the result of F2 generation? So the result of F2 generation is 3:1. So we can say that it's all about the only one character. Okay, see, what is the character? The character is height of stem. Height of stem, okay, either tall or dwarf. But what about the remaining characters? Mendel did same experiments for remaining all 6 characters. So again, point number 5, we can say that Mendel did the same experiment for remaining all characters. Mendel did same experiments for remaining all characters, but we can say that what about the result? So the result of all characters, all experiment is same, and result is 3:1. Okay, so result of F2 generation is 3:1. An important thing is that in F2 generation both types of plants are there. So this tall plant is as similar as their parent, and this dwarf plant is as similar as their parent. It means the height of this tall plant is 4 feet like P generation, and the height of this dwarf plant is 2 feet as their parent. Okay, and the important thing is that there is no blending, there is no mixing of character. The height is not 3 feet or 2.5 feet or 3.5 feet. Okay, so you will remember in F2 generation there is no mixing. There is no mixing means no blending of different type of characters, and the same result, okay, same result was there for the all different type of characters. Okay, so it is one type of observation done by Mendel. Now from this experiment Mendel gave some type of conclusion. So if we talk about the conclusions given by Mendel, see, first point we can say that according to Mendel, there is something that remains unchanged, is being passed down from parent to progeny, through gametes. Okay, see, Mendel said that, okay, see, this conclusion is very, very important. Okay, Mendel said that there is something and something remain unchanged. See, 4 feet and 4 feet, something remain unchanged, is being passed down from parent to progeny. Okay, from parent to their progeny, through what? Through the gametes. Okay, what about gamete? Gamete is nothing. Gamete is equal to male reproductive cell, okay, and female reproductive cell. In the case of human, male reproductive cell is equal to sperm. In the case of human female, okay, the female reproductive cell is equal to ova. But according to flowering plant, you know that the pollen grains are there, pollens are there, okay, and ova is there. So according to Mendel, or Mendel gave one conclusion that there is something which remain unchanged, is being passed down from parent to their progeny, parent to their offspring, with the help of what? With the help of gamete. And Mendel said that it is nothing but it is one type of factor. Mendel said that it is factor. So according to Mendel, factors are what? According to Mendel, factors are being passed down from parents to their progeny with the help of gametes, and factors remain what? Factors remain unchanged. Okay, now see point number 2. We can say that in the year of 1906, the another scientist Johansen gave a new word which is known as gene. So you know that the word gene was given by the scientist named Johansen in the year of 1906. So Johansen said that this factors is equal to what? This factors is equal to gene. Okay, so Mendel said that it is factor, and Johansen said factor is equal to gene, and gene is what? Genes are the, we can say that, unit of inheritance. Okay, genes are what? Genes are the unit of inheritance. So you will remember, genes are unit of inheritance, one liner question. Okay, it is the MCQ of competitive exam. Okay, so many times this type of questions were asked. Blank is the unit of inheritance. Okay, students are writing like DNA. No, DNA is wrong answer. We can say that gene. Okay, genes are the unit of inheritance and responsible for the passing down of characters. Okay, genes are the unit of inheritance and responsible, we can say that, and they are responsible for what? Responsible for the passing down of characters. Responsible for the passing down of what? Passing down of characters. Okay, so again, first three sentences are very much important. First sentence is the definition of factor. Factor is what? Factors are nothing but it is something that remain unchanged, being passed down from parent to progeny through gametes. Okay, gamete is the important word, don't forget it. Is known as factor. According to Johansen, factor is equal to gene. And point number 3, we can say that these genes are the unit of inheritance and responsible for the passing down of what? Passing down of character. Now if we talk about the point number 4, I am writing the one definition of alleles. Okay, what about the alleles? See, important definition. Alleles are what? Alleles are one type of gene, or the gene which having two opposite. Gene which having two opposite means two contrasting, okay, two contrasting factors. Factors are known as alleles. Okay, allele is the another form of gene. For example, see, for example, we can say that capital T is for tall plants and small t is for the dwarf plants. Okay, you know that capital T is for tall plants and small t is for dwarf plant. Okay, so see, we can say that capital T and small t both are alleles of each other. Capital T and small t both are opposite to each other. Yes, because one is responsible for the tallness and another is responsible for the dwarfness. So we can say that both are what? Both are alleles to each other. So you will remember capital T and small t. The definition of allele is in homework for 5 times. Okay, see, definition of factors 5 times in homework, definition of alleles 5 times in homework. Again, what is allele? It is one type of another form of gene. It is one type of gene which having the two opposite type of factors. Okay, so we can say that capital T and small t both are the allele of each other. Now in point number 5, I am writing one word which is known as genotype. And point number 6, I am writing the phenotype. Okay, what is the meaning of genotype and phenotype? Two new words are there, and these both words were given by the Johansen. See here, I am writing here capital T capital T, small t and small t. These all are genotype. Okay, means structure of gene. These all are genotype. What about the phenotype? Phenotype is equal to term for character. You will remember phenotype is what? Phenotype is the one type of term for the characters. So if genotype is capital T, then the character will be tall. So capital T is genotype and tall is phenotype. Capital T, small t is genotype while tall is phenotype. Small t is genotype while dwarfed is what? While dwarfed is phenotype. Okay, remember the one thing, from genotype phenotype will be decided. From phenotype, genotype will not be decided, because first of all gene will come. Okay, gene will come from parents, then gene will be expressed. Phenotype is nothing, it is one type of expression of gene. Okay, you know, we have the 100% gene from our parents, but only 2% will be expressed by us. Okay, and 98% will remain stay in our body as genetic material. Okay, so remember, from genotype, phenotype will be there. Okay, it is one type of expression of gene. So two concepts are there, genotype and phenotype. Point number 5 and point number 6. If we talk about the next one, point number 7, see I am writing here one word. Point number 7, homozygous pair, and second one is about the heterozygous pair. Okay, homozygotic pair or homozygotic factor, homozygotic allele. So we can say that, see, capital T is one type of homozygous pair. Small t is one type of homozygous pair. Okay, because see, both alleles are same. Here both alleles are same. Here see, you can say that both factors are what? Both factors are not same. It is heterozygous. So two things are there. We can say that homozygous, if both alleles are same, if both factors are same in allele, it is known as homozygous. If both are different, it is known as heterozygous. See, it is what? It is, we can say that it is homozygous dominant, because capital T is dominant, you know that. It is homozygous dominant, it is homozygous recessive. Homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive, and it is what? It is the heterozygous. Okay, so this concept, point number 7 and point number 8, is about homozygous and heterozygous. Now if we talk about the last concept, point number 9, see, we can say that for tall we are using capital T, and for dwarfed we must use small t. Okay, it means it is true method. Point number 10, for tall we will use capital T, and for dwarf we will use capital D. Okay, then it is what? It is the wrong method. Okay, what about the method for the giving alphabets? Capital T, tall, capital T, and you will use the opposite. Okay, you will use the small. You will use the small for recessive. If for dominant, for dominant you are using the capital T, then for recessive you must use what? You must use the small t. Okay, for dominant you are using capital T, then for recessive you will not use capital D. Okay, you will only use the small t, means opposite to capital T. It is a one type of rule. So today's lecture is 100% completed. Again we are going to revise this question at a glance. See, what about the observation of Mendel? Selected the tall plant with dwarf plant. It is one type of cross as the parent generation, P generation. In F1 generation the result is 100% tall plants. F2 generation 75% tall, 25% dwarfed. 3:1 is ratio. No mixing is there, and the result will be same for all remaining character. You will remember 3:1. So what about the factor? According to Mendel, factor is something which remain unchanged and being passed down from parent to progeny through the gametes. And in the year of 1906, Johansen said factors are one type of gene and which are the unit of inheritance and passing down of characters, responsible for the passing down of characters. Okay, what about the alleles? It is one type of different form of gene. Another form of genes, the genes having to opposite factors like the capital T and small t, both are the one type of contrasting opposite type of traits. Definition of genotype phenotype, you know it very well, okay. From genotype phenotype will be decided, it is the term for the characters. Capital T, both are same, homozygous, both are not equal, heterozygous. Homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive, it is heterozygous. And you know the sign very well. If you are using capital T for dominant, you must use small t for recessive. For recessive, you are not going to use the small d. Okay. So today's question is 100% completed. Thank you very much.